Fri-Weigh, welcome TikTok, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. Hope you're all good. It's Fri-Weigh. Yes, we call it Fri-Weigh because that is the day that my clients jump on the scales and see what amazing things they have achieved over the last couple of weeks. I'm a little bit late today, actually. I've been covering spin this morning and then just sort of flown back, managed to get a little bit of breakfast in me, and then I'm here now doing this live. I'm actually only going to be on for around about half an hour this morning, maybe a little bit longer. I've got a lot of work to do, and then Rachel's got an appointment. She's having her eyebrows done at 2:30. So I'm going to take her to have her eyebrows done. Then we're going back to the gym. She couldn't get there this morning. So we're going back to the gym. So anyway, while Rachel's having her eyebrows done, which will be about half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm going to jump on another live. But it will just be on TikTok. I won't be on Facebook or YouTube this afternoon because I can't do a triple stream because I'll just be sat in the car. Anyway, there we go. How are we all? Are we all having a good Friday so far? It's a bit dank. It's a bit drizzly. Very warm, though. Very humid. Very humid. Today, I'm having a good Friday so far. Yeah, I was in here for about 6:30 this morning, working my way through some check-ins. And like I said, I've just been in covered spin. Nicked into Aldi on the way home. Got a couple of new bits that I've spotted in Aldi. They'll be on my Instagram and Facebook pages this afternoon at some point. And I've just had a very nice yogurt bowl. I did a yogurt bowl yesterday that was just blueberry white. So blueberries, right? Because that was only frozen fruit. I've got in my back freezer here. Got loads, but I was just eating up the frozen fruit that I had in my main freezer. I'm just had blueberries left. So I finished off this morning. 150 grams of blueberries, 150 grams of Greek yogurt, 20 grams of white chalk protein powder, teaspoon of stevia just to sweeten up a little bit because I've got a sweet tooth. Mixed all that in, and then some blueberry and almond granola, keeping the blueberry thing going. Drizzle of honey, just 5 grams. Again, bit of a sweet tooth. And then 15 grams of peanut butter. Absolutely sensational. It was so good. Right, let's do top 5 on TikTok this morning. Let's see who's in. Lou's in at number 1. Callum's in at number 2. Faye's in at number 3. Kelly C is in at number 4. And James is in at number 5. Good morning, guys. Hope you had a great birthday, James. I don't think I saw you yesterday. Were you on yesterday? I can't remember. Anyway, I hope you had a great birthday, mate. Anna, good morning. Peter P's in. Good morning, mate. So happy with checking today. Best checking you've had, I think, Kelly. Yeah, really good. Nikki's in. Good morning. Tony, good morning. Good morning. Let's have a look up. Kirsty, good morning, Kirsty. Hope you are good and yes, and all happy. Right, let's have a look on YouTube. No, nothing's going on. I'm just actually making sure that YouTube is actually working. I have no idea. Is it working? I don't know. Hang on 1 second. Leave it with me. So I'm just checking on my own YouTube. No, we're good. We're sleeping yesterday. Oh, it was one of them birthdays, was it, James? Cool. Right, it is just switched from it. Right, brilliant. I was just having. Sometimes I check with YouTube. Sometimes it can be a little bit intimate. But what I tend to do is I bring it up in a separate window on my phone just to have a look. It's really weird because you see yourself doing the same things anyway. It's my birthday Monday. Going out for a meal. Very nice, Kelly. Where are you off to? Anywhere nice? Going out for your favourites, hopefully. Stephen saying, morning, boss. Said you were checking earlier. Not great, I think. £12 up, but it's fine. Be gone. So yeah, I'm saying shouldn't check in on holiday, Stefan. If I'm being honest with you, I might not even log it, and I don't mean that as in I know you pay me as your coach, but you know it's. I think you're the first person that's ever sent a check-in while on holiday, and I've been doing this nearly 5 years now. So, yeah, and I'm not being mean, but you just shouldn't go near us. You're on holiday. Right, just enjoy your holiday. You don't need to worry about weight. Sometimes we have to accept that we have to shuffle the priority pack. Now, if you go away for a couple of months or something like that, then yeah, maybe. But you're away for a couple of weeks. That's it. So, you're going to gain weight on holiday. It's always going to be a false negative stepping on the scales anyway, because you're going to have increased water weight. You're going to have increased water retention because you're dehydrated because you're in a hot country. You'll probably have a bit more dehydration as well if you've had any alcohol while you've been there. So it's just, sometimes we get false positives. Sometimes we get false negatives. They happen. But when we definitely know it's going to happen, there's just no, it's like I don't do any check-ins in between Christmas and New Year. It's like, don't go near a set. You don't need to. Right? No one needs to go anywhere near a set. Someone's going, this is how sensitive my nose is to food. Someone somewhere, I think there's a lot of drilling going on around in someone else's garden, but I've literally got like a big waft of like maybe something like a top tier, like toast, but also maybe garlic bread. And I'm just like, where's that coming from? They're also soaring. So it could just be the smell of wood slightly burning because they're soaring. Maybe that's just the fat person in me that's like, oh, wood burning. Nope, garlic bread. Anyway, there you go. You didn't need to know that. We haven't got smell-o-vision. Anyway, was Wednesday, can't handle the beer no more. I can't, mate. I definitely can't. I'm out for a few beers tomorrow. I am going to sort of try and pace myself a little bit. I am finishing early. Rachel's picking me up at 5, starting at 12, finishing at 5. So it's only a few hours, but still, you can sink a few beers in a few hours, can't you? I always say that. I was talking to my mate that I'm going out with tomorrow. Well, I'm meeting up with a mate of mine, John, from the gym. We're going to a mate's housewarming sort of thing. I think it's an all-day thing, but neither of us are bothered about going all day. So I'm meeting my mate John at 12. We're going to go out for a couple of beers in a couple of pubs near where the housewarming is, and then we're going to mooch the housewarming, which starts between 2 and 1:30. We're going to mooch there just for a couple of hours, and then I'm going home. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go out for too long. Just going to go out 12 till 5. I'm like, I always used to go out in the evening, like to the pub, and like Friday night, and I'm talking a few years ago, more as a kid sort of thing. You go at 8 on a Friday, you go home at 11 when the last orders used to be 11. You go home about 11:30. That's 3.5 hours. And I'm like, going out for 5 hours in the afternoon is like going out at 8, 7 o'clock at night and being still out at midnight. Like, it's a long time, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to try and pace myself a little bit tomorrow, mainly because not to do with calories. I've banked plenty of calories as we stand at the moment. I'll go through that actually in a second. I'll tell you where I'm at. I've tracked nearly all my food today. I say nearly because I had peanut butter on my breakfast, which I hadn't put in. I wasn't going to have it, and then I was like, no, I'm having it. Sorry. So I need to put that in. Got my lunch in. I've got my tea in. I've got nothing else in today, but I'm at 18.50. Am I going to have something else today? Yes. This afternoon, no. Tonight, we will be having, because I've got half a bag left, popcorn. So I'm going to be having 30 grams of popcorn and half a protein bar, which is what I had last night. So that'll have me on. Oh, I can't. Well, I can't. I'm going to push it a little bit. So I've limited myself to 2,100 calories maximum this week, right? Maximum this week. That will have me at 2,108. I'll allow myself the extra 8 calories, right? Which means this week I have banked 2,845 calories going into the weekend. I wanted to bank 2,500. I've banked an extra 300. Oh, Eric, YouTube's good. Brilliant. Thanks, mate, for letting me know that. I've banked an extra 345 calories on top. So that is for my weekend. So I'm going out tomorrow, 5 hours, few beers. Probably going to end up having, I would say, 4 pints while I'm out with my mate, right? And then when we go to this house party, probably 4 cans, right? That's what I'm going to kind of try and limit myself to. But I am going to go quite light with the cans. I'm going to go Bud Light, I think. I am. I'm just going to chill it right out. So calorie-wise tomorrow, probably going to be out in alcohol, maybe 1,500 maximum. That's where I'm going to get to. So I'm not too worried about that. I've got 2,600 calories. We'll be having food in that as well. So how am I going to split that 2,845 up that I've got? Well, I am going to have probably 2,000 extra tomorrow. So maybe a 4,600 calorie day tomorrow because I'm going to have plenty of food. If I eat plenty of food while I'm having a beer, it doesn't affect me anywhere near as much. That then means I've got 845 extra for Sunday in 2,000. So I'll have 3,400. That's kind of where I'm going to go. So big calorie day tomorrow, bit of a higher calorie day. Going to try and stick to my ideal deficit. Now, in all honesty, if I'm not bang on, I'm not too worried about it, right? I'm still going to be well within a calorie deficit this week. You know, my calorie deficit at the moment is like 7,000 a week, or not a million miles away. So even if I go 1,000 calories over this week, I'm still in a 6,000 calorie deficit. That's still not going to be nearly £2 a week. And that's exactly what I've lost in the last 2 weeks. Yes, it has been my check-in this morning. So last check-in, I got on the scales after Benidorm, 4 days after getting back from Benidorm, right? Got on the scales, and I was 8.1 pounds up. I've been in a 7,000 calorie deficit week 1, 7,000 calorie deficit week 2. Since that check-in, I'm 7 pounds down. So I'm 7 pounds down on the scales this morning. So I'm still 1.1 up from Benidorm. What does that tell me? I gained 5 pounds in Benidorm, basically. Maybe a touch more. So I gained 5 pounds in my nine days of not tracking. I gained 5 pounds of body fat because I was in a bit of a deficit before my last check-in, but nothing major. Probably enough to lose a pound, maybe, right? And these last 2 weeks, I've been in a calorie deficit where I've lost 4 pounds, right? So I've lost 5 pounds of body fat since coming back from Benidorm. And I've dropped 7. So I probably was carrying last time and next. Now I am still a pound up. Is that pound up water weight, food weight, or is it water retention, water weight, food weight, water retention, or is it still a pound of body fat knocking about? I don't actually know. But I had a pretty carby heavy day yesterday, right? Because I was doing some reviews for Worth the Calories. And when you have quite a heavy carby day, you tend to gain a little bit of water the next day. So normally I have about 200 grams of carbs a day. Yesterday I had over 300. So yeah, I'm probably just carrying. I'm probably up a little bit. Maybe I should have weighed yesterday, but we don't do that. We're not trying to trick the scales in any way. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm well happy with that. I'm well happy with that. You know, at the end of the day, you should gain weight on holiday. But, you know, and I gained 5 pounds. And I think over the 9 days, a 5 pound gain means I was in a 17,500 calorie deficit over 9 days, which is about 2,000 calories above my maintenance. My maintenance is about 3,500. Well, it's 3,500. Right? Is 3,000. So did I eat 5,500 calories a day on average while on holiday? Yeah, probably. I can eat a lot of calories when I want to. So anyway, all tallies up. So I'm buzzing with that. So another good couple of weeks. So what am I going to do over the next 2 weeks? I'm going to go calorie deficit again, and I'm going to get down to pre-holiday weight or a little bit lower. Then I think I'm going to take my foot off the gas for August. So it's the 1st of August, 2 weeks today. That's when my next check-in will be. So I think with August, I'm going to take my foot off the gas. I'm going to go into maintenance calories for a month, or maybe very small deficit, and just have a kind of an extended break. Last couple of days of August, first week of September is my birthday week, and we're nipping to Benidorm again for 4 days. So we're having a little bit of a break there. That'll probably be. How will that work out? Well, we go on a Friday night. I'm going to track all day Friday until we get to the airport, and then I'm not going to track from being in the airport. And then obviously just going to enjoy Saturday, Sunday. So I would say that week, so I'll bank calories all the way up to going. Probably a maintenance week. I'm then away Monday, Tuesday, and then we're back first thing for Wednesday morning. And I'm going to track Wednesday, even when we go to the airport, flying home, any food we have when we get back. I'm going to track. I'm not going to worry about the calories I consume, but I am going to track. And just from tracking, it always reins you in a little bit. Thursday, straight back into calorie deficit. And I'll probably end up having a lower weekend that weekend. So really, 2 maintenance weeks. So really from the 1st of August up until the 2nd week of September, or the very first Monday, I think it'll be the second Monday of September. It'll be like the 8th of September. I'm just going to sit in a calorie maintenance. That's kind of where I'm going to be at. Then I'm going to go back into calorie deficit because we've got a week in Tenerife beginning of October. So I'm going to go into a calorie deficit with the focus of enjoying a week all inclusive. And then after that, when we come back from there, I'm probably going to go into calorie deficit to get down to pre-Tenerife weight. And then I might move into maintenance going into Christmas. I'm not really too bothered. I'm more than happy with where my weight is at the moment. And then 2026, we'll decide if we're going to go deeper with the losses. We'll see, you know. Right, let me scan up. Dread to think what the scales will say after I've been to Florida, but it will be worth it, 100%. It will be worth it. And again, you know, what's the most I've ever gained on holiday? 30 pounds. 30 pounds is the most I've ever gained on holiday. That was in 2017. I was coming towards the end of my first phase of weight loss. We went to Mexico, 2 weeks all inclusive. And I went wild. I went absolutely wild and I gained 30 pounds. Out of that 30 pounds, how much was water weight, food weight? Probably 10 pounds. 20 pounds of body fat. 20 pounds of body fat in 2 weeks, in 14 days. That means I was eating on average about 7,000 calories a day, right? And I was, you know, I look back now and I don't know what. Well, I've spoke about this before. And I'm actually going to do a podcast on it because I think I might do my next podcast on holiday gain, right? Because I think it's important. A lot of people, they go on holiday and they absolutely panic. They panic like mad when they get back. They weigh themselves. They see a big gain. And after any period of overindulgence, the gain that you see on the scales is always going to be an increase of water weight, an increase of food weight, an increase of water retention, right? And there's going to be an increase of body fat, right? Generally, for most people, you'll nip into some sort of surplus when you're on holiday. You should do. So I'll talk about my experience of holidays. I've been on plenty throughout my weight loss journey. How I handled them. The first time I went on holiday, how I handled it. My biggest gain on holiday, we'll talk about the Mexico situation. And then, just how to handle holidays now. Because I think we are at that. Don't get me wrong, I know we're July, we're nearly August, so I know a lot of people will have already done a nice sun holiday this year. But we are coming into like kids' summer holidays, and it is like the busiest time for holidays, you know, because, you know, a lot of people, if they don't want to get fined or they just don't want to take the kids out of school, you know, heaving, July, August, things like that, really busy. Airports packed, everyone's going on holiday. And then September, my friend's a travel agent, and I always talk to her about it, and she was like, September is rammed because September's still red hot in Spain. And a lot of people that don't have children, that's when they jump on a holiday after because the prices obviously come down. So there's still plenty, a good 10, probably a good 3 months worth of summer holidays coming in. And May, June is not the busiest time for summer holidays. It is going forward now, like sun holidays in Europe. So yeah, I'm going to do a podcast on it. Yeah. I must have done 10,000 steps on Wednesday. That's all right. That counterbalances things a little bit, James, doesn't it? What's the best calorie counting app to use? I recommend NutriCheck. I used MyFitnessPal for about 6.5 years. Never did me any harm. I always got on well with I'll be honest with you, I did. I got on well with MyFitnessPal. I always, you know, I lost a considerable amount of weight using it. I never found it too much of a burden to use. But it's like, I always use the analogy. It's like, you know, you might drive now a Skoda or something like that, or a VW. I drive a VW, so I can say that, right? And great car. I absolutely love my car. It's amazing, right? But, you know, it's never done, you know, it does the job. It does exactly what I want it to do. I like driving it, you know. But, you know, if I went and drove and swapped it and got a Porsche, I'd probably enjoy it a little bit more. Or I just, you know, so it's kind of like, that's the analogy I'm kind of using. My car does me fine, right? But, you know, would I like one day to be able to drive a Porsche? Yeah. Now, and that's kind of the difference between MyFitnessPal. It's just, MyFitnessPal does the job. NutriCheck just does it better, is what I'm trying to say, right? It just does it better. More enjoyment, more fun, more gadgets, more luxury. And it is. That's the way I always describe NutriCheck. And it is a brilliant app. It is a brilliant app. What are the main benefits of Nutricheck over MyFitnessPal? Because I think MyFitnessPal is still one of the most popular ones. I know there's other tracking apps out there, but what is the advantage of Nutricheck? User friendliness, right? The pictures is amazing. You can select just a UK database, so it filters out. When you search MyFitnessPal, it brings up, it's an open source database, MyFitnessPal, so it picks up, Australia, Thailand, America. It's just got so much different stuff in. Also, because it's open source, so many people can go into it and just put their own data into it, which can come up. So there's a lot of bump in there, a lot of nonsense, a lot of false calories, right? And you've got to use a bit of common sense and logic, and sometimes you've got to work a little bit. Barcode scanner's a barcode scanner. That works the same, but sometimes, it's just a bit more complicated. There is a week view on MyFitnessPal, but the week view on Nutricheck is so much simpler to access and see. And overall, it's just a much better app. It's just a much better app. Downsides to Nutricheck over MyFitnessPal: there isn't a free version. You do have to pay for it, but you get what you pay for, and it's not that expensive. It really isn't. If you join my community or come on plan with me, you can get Nutricheck one-off payment for 13 months for 26 quid, 25.99, which is like £2 a month. It's nothing, 50p a week. Right, so you do have to pay for it, but it is cheap. But it is well worth what you're paying for. The My Meals thing is amazing. The quick ad is amazing. The daily diary is very, very straightforward. Searching for food, straightforward. The pictures are great. The week view is great. It's just a really good app. It just is a really, really good app. Yeah. Does the Nutricheck show you the macro breakdown of logged foods? Yep. Absolutely, it can tell you anything you want. So it'll show you proteins, fats, carbs, sugar, salt, fiber, saturated fat. Gives you full breakdown. If you use it on your phone, you can only see at a time in your diary 3. So I always have protein, fiber, saturated fat. Those are the 3 things that I like to kind of look at a little bit, right? If you look at your Nutricheck on, is it like that or is it like that? Oh no, on iPad it's the same. Now, but with Nutricheck, if you do go to your week view, like I've got up there, you can then select all your macro breakdowns for the entire week as well. So I can click, so I've got my calories up here, but I can click protein, right? And then it tells you all your protein breakdown for the week. Right, each day I can click sugar. Tells you how much sugar you've had for the day. If that's something you track, I don't encourage people, the people that I work with, to track their individual macros. But if you want to, it's all in there. Absolutely, it does. And it also has the traffic light system as well, right? So if you're interested in things like, you've got to take the traffic light system with a pinch of salt, right? Because what the traffic light system doesn't take into account is volume, the amount you're consuming, a few other bits and pieces. But it does have the traffic light system on there, green, So I've got peanut butter in here. Peanut butter is always going to come up red for fat, but it's full of monounsaturated fat. So yes, it's high in fat, but it's high in healthy fats. Likewise, the granola and the whey protein comes up for amber in saturated fat. It has a very tiny amount, but whey protein is going to have a tiny bit of saturated because it's milk. It's milk based. Milk, even skimmed milk, still has a small percentage of saturated fat in it. Right. Let me scan down. I never thought I'd ever be in control of it for years. Oh, I love that you have shown me we can be in control of what we are in, e.g. deficit, maintenance, surplus. 100%. It's one of my coaching philosophies. We need to to lose weight, to lose body fat, we need to be in a calorie deficit. But while my clients are on plan, I teach them exactly about being in a calorie deficit. I also recommend taking weight loss breaks at times, and I teach them about how to handle being in a calorie maintenance, and I teach them about calorie surplus. Gaining weight is always going to be part of losing weight. Now, obviously, we'll want to lose weight because we've gained weight, but even while you're wanting to lose weight, weight gain is still going to be part of that. Weight maintenance is still going to be part of that. Why? You can't stick to a calorie deficit week in, week out. You just can't do it until you hit your goal. Look, if your goal is to lose 7 pounds, you can, right? But if your goal is to lose 100 pounds, there's no chance. You might be like, no, Neil, I can. Something will happen, right, that's out of your control where you won't be in a calorie deficit for a week. In 12 months, you've got Christmas, right? I don't know anyone on this planet that is in a calorie deficit over Christmas, right? Will there be the odd person? Yeah. All right. Someone smart's going to go, well, what about countries that have famine or don't celebrate Christmas? All right. But do you know what I mean? Like in the UK, I pretty much guarantee Christmas week, the Monday to Sunday, however it falls. So let's say even if Christmas Day's Thursday, Boxing Day's that week overall, most people are going to be in some sort of calorie surplus, right? Likewise, going on holiday. You can go on holiday with all good intentions, right? I'm going to go on holiday. I'm going to send me food. I'm going to count me calories. You won't, right? Not to the best of your ability, and you'll probably end up in a calorie deficit. In a calorie surplus. That calorie surplus could just be 10 calories. But I guarantee, setting off with all good intentions on holiday, right? You're not going to stick to a calorie deficit, right? So there's just, likewise, you might end up just feeling ill for a week and still needing a bit of a hug from food, right? And your movement massively drops. Your movement massively drops, right? Which means your calorie burn drops a bit, right? And then for whatever reason, just because you're in bed and you just want a little bit of comfort food, your calories increase. There could be a situation where, your cooker breaks down and just for a couple of days you end up having a takeaway. Now, I'm not saying you can't order a takeaway that's not calorie controlled, but not many of us do. We do. I'm going to take the sort of what I want. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but that's the way we go, isn't it? Again, last week on Holds too, but a break is a break. You need it. You need a break. You need to take weight loss breaks, and we need to accept weight gain is always going to be part of weight loss, right? Previous to starting your weight loss journey and while you're on your weight loss journey. I'm in a calorie deficit up until about 9:30 on Christmas Day. I normally stay in a calorie deficit until the 23rd. So I do push normally for a calorie deficit up until the 23rd. From the 23rd up until generally the first Monday of January, I couldn't give a toss. I couldn't. My main aim from the 23rd of December is to have a flipping good time, is to enjoy myself, right? Is to, eat, drink, and be merry. I've done that every year since I started my weight loss journey, and I sit here now nearly 270 pounds down. You can be exactly the same, So I said this yesterday on a live. A successful weight loss journey isn't built around what we do some of the time. It's about what we do most of the time. And we need to have the confidence in ourselves that we can just have that freedom, And I do get clients, I've worked with so many clients now. And you can't tar everyone with the same brush, but I do see a lot of trends. I've had so many clients that have, and I used to, when I first started my online coaching, I used to kind of let people do what they want in a way. So I get people that have come to me and go, no, I'm going to track my calories on holiday. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, I don't recommend it. Now I say I wouldn't bother. Why? Because I've had a good amount of people. I've worked one-to-one with well over 800 people in the last 4 years. And then if I take into account people that have also joined my community, it's in the thousands. And, I've had so many people that have set off, I'm going to track on holiday, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And likewise, when I was a personal trainer, I'd have clients that they didn't want me for the nutrition side, they wanted me for the exercise side, and they might have still been doing Slimming World. I did work with a few clients that went to Slimming World, didn't want to, do calorie count, they wanted to carry on with that, they just wanted to learn how to work out in the gym, which is fine. But they'd be the same. Yeah, no, I'm going to count my sins on holiday. I've done really well this year. So come back, how did your sin counting go? Well, I did it for 2 days. And if we set off trying to do something and we don't complete it, we just end up getting mad with ourselves. And it can kind of ruin your holiday in a way. And that's what I've seen with a lot of people that set off with these good intentions. And I don't think it is a good intention. I think thinking about weight loss on holiday is a bad intention. I think it's an unhealthy relationship with weight loss, thinking that you have to do it week in, week out, 52 weeks of the year. No, you don't, right? You need to do it more often than not. I aim for my clients to be in a calorie deficit between 40 and 44 weeks of the year. That's what I'd like my clients to be. If you stay in a calorie deficit 40 to 44 weeks of the year, the other 8 to 10 weeks, say, you have a couple, 2 or 3 weeks calorie surplus, the rest of the time calorie maintenance. And some of those 40 to 44 weeks where you're in a deficit, you make hay while the sun shines, as I call it, where you might push your movement a little bit more. You might end up a little bit under your ideal deficit, which can certainly, like when motivation's really high in January, if you do that, you'll lose 4 stone in a year. And I don't care who you are, 4 stone weight loss in a year, even if you're 30 stone, to go from 30 stone to 26 stone in a year is good progress. To go from 26 to 22, 22 to 18, 18 to 14. If you said to someone now that's 30 stone, in 4 years' time, you'll be 14 stone. They'd snap your hand off. They would snap your hand off, and that's 4 stone a year. Yeah. Right. Let me scan up. Thanks, Flo. Good morning. I was in a deficit over Christmas. Didn't care for it last year, but definitely won't be this year now. Yeah, and I know, and I think Callum again. You kind of just started with me last Christmas. And again, it's kind of a bit of a learning curve. It's kind of, and it depends what stage you're at with your journey. You're really, you're a good way into your journey now. You've made some amazing progress. And I think the more progress you've made on the scales, the more freedom you do give yourself. But that's also a good sign as well. When you're willing to give yourself a bit more freedom here and there, it's a good sign that your overall relationship with weight loss is improving. My mum told me exactly that. Take a break, enjoy it, and get back on track at home. Deal with any gain that might happen. Absolutely. And like I say, I'm going to do a holiday podcast. I'll do it this week, and I'll get it out next week if I can. I put a new podcast out yesterday on YouTube. I am going to upload. I might do it today for Spotify and everything like that. In fact, I will do. I'll try and get it up today, and then I'll try and do a holiday one next week and get that out next Thursday as well. Harry Guthrie, dripping on toast is not conductive to staying in a calorie deficit. No, definitely not. Tastes good. And Chris, if you're going to have something like that, Christmas is definitely the time to do it. I know we don't want to be talking to Christmas. It's only July. But something I have been working on this week, which I'm going to email out next week. Next challenge. Yeah, next challenge. We've had 6 weeks since the previous challenge finished. So we're going to put a new one out for September. I'm getting it out now. So you've got 6 weeks you'll have 6 weeks basically to get signed up to it. But I like putting it out early so you can split the payments up if you want to. It's 50 quid to enter the Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge. The winner, it's going to run till the 12th of December. I've decided to run it into Christmas. All right, we're going to run it into Christmas. Don't worry. I know quite a few people first week or so December, might be going Christmas mark. We build all that into the challenge. You don't need to worry about that. But I'm going to run the challenge this year until the 12th of December. So it's going to take you right up to, a good chunk into Christmas. You're going to have a week afterwards. Then it's Christmas week. So it's going to start around, I think the 8th, maybe the 8th or the 15th of September. I think it might start on the 15th of September. All right. It's 50 quid to enter. You can pay £25 deposit end of July, £25 balance end of August. You can even do it end of September if you want to. I'm not too fussed when you pay your balance. And yeah, 12-week challenge. And it really is a good, but especially going up to Christmas. It really will drive you on. So if you want to join the challenge, you have to be on my one-to-one plan. There is an amazing deal to join my one-to-one plan at the moment. If you want to join my one-to-one plan monthly, my monthly payment plan, I've got a half price offer for sign up. So it's 15 quid instead of 30 quid. If you want to pay for a year up front, it is now just £260. It's normally 325 quid. So if you stick with me for a year on a monthly subscription, it will cost you £390. You can save yourself a chunk of money and not have any direct debits going out and pay a one-off £325 for a year, which is 325 quid. At the moment, I'm doing it for £260. One-off payment. You will get full weight loss coaching from now until this time next July. Basically works out £21.50 a month for full weight loss coaching. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. Find my link tree. Click on that. You can sign up to my one-to-one plan in there. And when you click on monthly or yearly, everything's in the description. The discount codes. The discount code is summer50 for the one-to-one plan. It is summer 20 for the yearly. So for the monthly, it's summer 50. For the yearly, it's summer 20. How long will we have to pay off the challenge? You'll have like I say, Callum, you've done the challenge before. All I need to know is if you're doing the challenge, I need a 25 quid deposit, right? You can then pay the balance end of August, end of September if you want to. I don't mind. As long as it gets paid by the end of September, really, when it's fully in swing. I'm not bothered. All right. I just need a 25 quid deposit so I know that you're committed to doing it, and then I can sort all the bits and pieces out for it. All right. So, and don't get me wrong, you can sign up to the challenge all the way up to the end of August. Right. You've got till the end of August to join the challenge. So even if you've not got 25 quid now, you've got 6 weeks to sign up. Yeah. But I'm getting out there now because some people are like payday end of July. Payday end of August, we'll just pay to it. That's kind of how it works. And then you're ready for the challenge. Yeah? Sarah, I've completed the form you sent me a link to, so look forward. I will be emailing you straight back after this, Sarah. So honestly, check. I'm going to go now. Check your email at 12 p.m. Right? If you don't see it in your main inbox, check junk or spam. I will as well this afternoon at some point. Just send a little WhatsApp out. That's it. You don't get badgered from me if you inquire. But once I've sent an email out, I normally send a little WhatsApp follow-up. Hiya, I've emailed you. Check. It should be in your main inbox. If not, check junk and spam. If you've got any questions, just WhatsApp me. All right. And that's it. And then if you don't want to sign up after you've read what I offer, you'll never hear from me ever again. All right. So I'll send it to you now. Lost 2 stones since April, 3 since November, on keto since April. Jordan, whatever you're doing, go read a bit that I put on my Facebook and Instagram yesterday, and on what's it called? What's the Twitter of? Can't remember what the Twitter thing of Facebook's called. Threads. That's the badger. Whatever you're doing today to lose weight, you should be happy to do it for the rest of your life. And I'm telling you now, you're never going to be happy for the rest of your life not eating a carb. Right? Not eating a carb. So, stop doing them silly fad diets, right? Yes, you've lost a decent amount of weight since April, but there's a difference between having successful weight loss and a successful weight loss journey. And doing ridiculous fad diets leads to short-term weight loss, but generally leads to long-term weight gain. And that's not what we want. That is not what we want. Right, guys, I'm out of here. TikTok, I'm signing off to you first. I will be back around 2:30. All right, so around 2:30, couple of hours time, while Rachel's having the old eyebrows done, I'm going to jump on for half an hour or so and come and say hello again. So if you follow me on TikTok, I will see you in 2-3 hours if you are free. YouTube, Facebook, that's me. So if you do follow me on TikTok, I'll see you on TikTok 2:30 if you're free. If not, I will be back Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and of course TikTok. So have a great weekend.